Have you ever had the need to relocate or transplant small fruit trees? Today's video is about relocating two small seed-grown Longan fruit trees from our backyard to a friend's yard. One was about 2.5 meters, while the smaller one was about 1.5 meters in height. We think that the learnings from this video can be applied to fruit trees in general. Let's begin. We began the relocation process by preparing the ground around the trees. First, we thoroughly watered the base of the trees the night before, and again the morning of the relocation exercise. We used a rake and a cultivator to gently remove the mulch and the soft top layer of soil around the trees, taking care not to damage any surface roots. We also felt for where the surface roots may be to avoid harming them. During this process, we noticed a few worms wriggling around in the soil which looked healthy and fertile. We repeated these steps until most of the soil around the trees had been cleared away. Now, the extraction methods for the two trees differed. For the small tree, we simply yanked it out, requiring 2 people to pull it from the ground. The technique involved grabbing the tree trunk and pumping it vertically until the soil started to dislodge around the base of the tree. Now, despite some minor root damage, the primary roots remained relatively intact due to the loose soil. This approach works well for small trees in reasonably fertile ground. Now, with the larger tree, we took a more careful approach. We dug around the base of the tree, creating a channel using a pickaxe, and continued to deepen that channel by digging around the tree. Other tools that came in handy were tools like the digging bar, a cultivator to clear the channel, and a narrow spade. And essentially, we had to go around the tree and use these tools to try and dislodge and loosen the roots from the tree. Occasionally, we would rock the tree from side to side to see if its roots had loosened their hold. Now, eventually the taproot snapped from the rocking motion, which we had anticipated would happen in this instance because that taproot was well set. Now, once it snapped, it freed the tree. And upon closer inspection, we found that several roots remained intact, which was a positive sign. We then pruned a part of the canopy to reduce the load on the diminished root system. And these methods allowed us to successfully remove the trees while preserving their root systems as best as possible. Before moving the trees to their new location, we rubbed fresh cut aloe vera stems against the exposed roots to protect them from potential infection and enhance the natural healing process of these wounds. Next, we prepared the trees for transportation by placing the trees in large garbage bags and putting them in a suitable vehicle for transfer to their new home. The next phase of this task involved preparing 2 reasonably large holes at the new site. We dug these holes and filled them with a mixture of half a 25-liter bag of cow manure, as well as mushroom compost, along with the original soil. Now, if we were working with percentages, it would be appropriate to use 1/3 of each component. You could use homemade compost if you have that handy instead of the mushroom compost. Our next step was to mix some of the original soil, the compost, and the manure in the hole using a chunkle or a backhoe. And you do this until the soil was reasonably well blended. Once the holes were prepared and ready to accept the trees, we removed the first tree from the bag, poured any of the original soil found in the bag into the ground, and placed the tree in the hole at or just below ground level, as this soil was reasonably sandy. Now, if these trees were going into marshy ground, we would have built a slight terrace and positioned the base of the stem above the ground to prevent water collection at the stem. We then folded the soil around the base of the tree, creating a mound and a circular channel, which allowed for excess water to collect as runoff during light rain or watering. We completed the task of planting by compacting the soil to remove air gaps by stamping it with our feet. There it is, a successful transplant of the larger of the two Longan trees. Now we repeated this process for the smaller tree. Now we hope that this video has demonstrated the relocation and transplantation of two fruit trees of different sizes. If you have any suggestions or comments, feel free to provide them through the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to watch our other videos, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so.